Okay, you hear that?
Yeah.
Good evening and welcome to Austria. I'm Charlie Bosco. Alongside me is Sierra Blair Coyle, and we are here for the final of this IFSC Boulder World Cup in Innsbruck. Surrounded by snow-capped peaks, Innsbruck is a mecca for mountain sports. From skiing to rock climbing, this city has it all. Innsbruck sits in the Inn Valley at the junction with the Vip Valley and is home to 125,000 people, giving it a city feel despite its proximity to the great outdoors. It has a long, rich history and is thought to have been inhabited since the Stone Age. We do know that it was certainly a 4th century Roman town, and even now it mixes the modern with history and the mountains with a bustling city. For just one weekend per year, however, the city is taken over by IFSC fever as the world's best climbers try to create their own history. So the first thing to address before we begin this final is that when we were on air for the semi-final, we didn't have time to clarify the result about whether both Anna Sturr and Shauna Coxey would qualify for the final. They did. They both got exactly the same score in the final, and they were also in the semi-final, and they were also tied in the qualifiers, so they both go through. So we will have 7 female finalists. Apologies that we weren't able to clarify that earlier when we went off air. We didn't have confirmation from the judges. We now do. Sierra, welcome to Innsbruck. Is this your first visit to the city?
This is my first visit to Innsbruck, and I'm loving it so far.
As we see the women's lineup there, Anna Sturr and Shauna Coxey both through. Janja Garnbray, Sol Saar, Megan Mascarenas, Miho Nanaka and Akio Noguchi join them. And here's the men's lineup. Roland Rugens climbs first, then Tomoa Narasaki, Martin Stranik, Dmitry Sharafutinov, Jong Won-ton and Sean McColl. Remember that the climbers climb in reverse order, so if you qualify first out of the semi-final, as Sean McColl did, you climb last in the final. So, Sierra, you climbed here in the qualifiers.
Yeah.
What is it like climbing in Innsbruck versus all the other venues? It's a legendary place.
I mean, I guess I expected greatness when I was coming to Innsbruck, and greatness was achieved. I mean, it's a great venue, a great crowd, and really strong climbers, too.
And how did you find the setting style? We've got a selection of very well-known route setters. What did you think they were trying to achieve with the boulders, and what were they trying to achieve tonight?
I think they were trying to achieve a mix of power and technical at the same time. You know, for me, I felt like it was a really good balance, and you have a lot of strong climbers who made it through the problems.
I have actually been to have a look at some of the routes with the route setters, and I know they've set a few surprise moves, a few triple dynos. This is all geared up for maximum entertainment. And we're in a new venue this time. Normally we're in the Marktplatz in Innsbruck City Centre. Today we're in the Olympia Halle, which hosted 2 Olympic Games. And there you get a look at the venue, and our first look at the athletes. Anna Sturr. To say that the Innsbruck crowd love Anna Sturr would be something of an understatement. She's the crowd favourite. Wait till you hear the roar. She tops a boulder. So if you're just joining us, just to recap, when we went off air in the semi-finals, we didn't have confirmation from the judges that both Shauna Coxey and Anna Sturr would be progressing to the final after they were tied in the semi-final, but they have both progressed, so there are 7 female finalists, including that woman there, Anna Sturr. We're actually having a short interview here in German, or the variation of German they speak here in Innsbruck. So, assuming that most of the people watching this live stream won't understand, we should carry on chatting.
Sounds good.
And I'm interested in your take on this women's final. Last week, Shauna Coxey slipped up. She's back this week. I'm going to ask you to give me a name right now. Who do you think is going to be on top of the podium?
Oh man, that's tough.
Sorry, that's harsh. I didn't even let you know about that. I'll put you on the spot though.
Honestly, I can see any of the women winning. Shauna's obviously had a really good streak, so it'd be cool to see her continue that, especially not making finals last week. You know, I'm sure she wanted to be there, so I'm sure she wants to be back on top again.
One very notable performance in the semi-final was Kia Noguchi. Topped the semi-final. We shall see. Well, speak of the devil, here comes Shauna Coxey. It really is impossible to overstate the difference between the final in this competition and events like Mumbai and Chongqing, the last two events. Normally we have a crowd of several hundred, maybe 1,000. Today we're in an arena that hosted an Olympic Games, and one or two seats still available, but it's filling up by the minute. This is a huge step up in terms of pressure from what we've had so far this season. The 17-year-old Yanni Garnbret, Slovenia. Seems to take everything in her stride. She doesn't seem too worried about the finals experience. Here comes Solsa. Looked very strong last week in Mumbai. Backed it up again this week. All the finalists getting a pretty thorough introduction here from our MC. So far we've got Anna Stor, Shauna Coxey, Yanni Garnbret and Solsa. Here's Megan. Sierra, you must know Megan well. How do you think she will perform tonight? What can we expect from her?
I think Megan's going to crush it. I mean, she's so consistent and she just always looks good. You know, I've never seen her compete where I'm like, Megan's having an off day. You know, she always does well. So it'd be cool to see her win again like she did in Vail. That was very exciting.
By the way, co-commentators are allowed to be biased.
Just for Team USA.
Just for Team USA.
Try and keep it mellow for everyone else.
There's Miho Nanaka, won 6 days ago in Mumbai. Could be about to have a bit of a choreography problem here. There's not quite room on the stage for 7 women.
Yeah, it's getting a little crowded.
Well, they'll have to make room for her. She won the semi-final. Here's Kia Noguchi. have the finalists Akira Noguchi, Miho Nanaka, Megan Mascarenas, Solsa, Yanya Gambray, Shauna Coxey, and Anna Sturr. This Innsbruck crowd, they're very knowledgeable about climbing. It's a real climbers' town. And they try to be fair, but there's no doubt who they will want to win in the women's competition. No Austrians in the men's final. They'll be disappointed with that, and Anna Sturr will get the biggest cheers all night. It's Roland Rugen's second final this year. So we have a quick look at the Olympiahalle. Huge venue. Look how far away the far end of that wall is. It's a big step up. Here's Tomoe Narasaki, really emerged this year as a serious contender. Won in Chongqing, backed it up with the podium last week. Doesn't give much away. He looks slightly nervous, but having seen his performance over the last few events, we certainly won't be writing him off. He's a serious contender.
I think it took 2 tops to make it in men's finals and 4 for women.
It did, yes.
That's crazy. I was surprised that it took 4 for women. I thought in the competition you'd only need 3, but it was cool to see so many women do all the boulders.
It was a very competitive semi-final. I suggest you go and look it up if you haven't watched it yet. The replay will be on YouTube. Martin Stranik just appeared there, second in Meiringen, the first event of this season. And then flew to Kazo in Japan. And there was a change to the schedule and he missed the isolation zone. So he was classified 20th, but he wasn't able to take part in the semi-final, which must have been pretty frustrating. Here's Dmitry Sharafutinov, a legend of the sport, in a strong field, probably the most experienced climber here. I don't know if you can hear that at home, the local MC said, "It's good to see you smiling, Dmitry." It is nice to see him happy to be here and happy to be in the final. It's Jungwon Chon, reigning overall World Cup champion. Partner in training and life with Solstar. Nice for them to be able to compete together in a final. They did last week. Just waiting for the appearance of a man who before tonight had not made a final and then absolutely crushed the semi-final to cruise into tonight's event. I won't tell you just in case you were ignoring the semi-final results and you'd like a surprise. Sean McCall.
I know Sean's excited to be in finals tonight. Should be good to watch him.
I know he's been disappointed with how it's gone so far this season. He's almost had a monopoly on 7th place, which is always a cruel place to finish. And he came out a man on a mission tonight.
Innsbruck is a good place for that, isn't it?
Definitely. I've been in finals here before, not last year, but I always, when I'm in finals, I always have a good time, and the boulders are always really tough. So yeah, I'm looking forward. Maybe I'm not looking for the most difficult boulders, but if I can do them, then that'll do.
As we have seen, your world trains. You're in a good shape. Tell us just maybe one secret. How do you train the perfect body? We want to see that afterwards.
If you follow social media, I did make a post that was actually quite long, and it more focuses on things that you don't easily point out in your training. So everyone knows that, yeah, I train 4 or 5 days a week. I do some canvassing, I do dead hang, I do boulders. I'm pretty good at reading. I'm pretty good as an overall climber. I don't have a definite strength. Like I'm not like Dimitri, like crimps, just he always does it. But one of my weaknesses is my diet. So in a buffet, it's hard. I just want to eat everything. And maybe it's the North American mentality that I just get hungry and I just want to eat it all. But it's a weakness, you could call it. And so yeah, my girlfriend, she really helps with that, and I probably don't point it out enough.
Do you have the favorites?
I don't know if you can hear this interview. We stayed with it there because Sean was asked about how you create the perfect climber's body. Bit of an unusual question. He was also asked what his favourite Austrian food was. Schnitzel, of course. The king of all Austrian foods, my humble opinion. There he is. The crowd always likes Sean. He's always got time for a wave and a smile. And he's also sporting a new haircut, bordering on hipster. But I think he just about pulls it off. Okay, so the climbers now get 2 minutes per boulder to inspect, try to figure out what the moves might be. They can only touch the starting holds, so on a boulder like this where it's pretty clear they're going to move right, they can't just wander along feeling every hold. Sarah, when you compete and you're observing boulders, do you like to discuss it, or are you one of those climbers that likes to stand back and keep it to yourself?
I think it kind of depends on the mood. A lot of people discuss the boulder pretty openly, so you don't really have to contribute a lot. You can just sit and listen. I guess I try and look at it from my own perspective because, people climb differently, and sometimes people come with beta and I'm like, oh man, like that sounds good, and then I try it and it's just not for me. So I guess I try and just figure it out myself if I can. But it's always cool to have the group effort, especially when there's a tricky move. People are talking about like, okay, what are the 10 different ways we could maybe do this, and what's the best one?
Well, I don't want to play down the reading abilities of the climbers, but I was on the mats half an hour ago with the route setters, and I'm fairly certain there are moves that you cannot read from the ground. I could be wrong, but the route setters believe they've hidden some secrets in these boulders. We shall see. You'd never cease to be amazed by the ability of these climbers, not only to perform physically, but to read a boulder in a very short space of time. That's the 2 minutes up on boulder 1. So, on to men's 2. This is one of the boulders where the route setters believe there is a bit of a hidden secret to doing it. I won't give much away. We'll watch the first couple of climbers on it later on in this final before we discuss how it might be done. Suffice to say, it's dynamic and requires clever climbing as well as powerful climbing. You see Sean McCall getting heavily involved with the holds. Over to the women. Another dynamic boulder this.
That problem looks cool. I think it'll be fun to watch.
Yanya Garnbray, just have you good luck. I believe that's men. Yes, it is. It's Jongwon Chon. So, for those of you just tuning in, we are live from the legendary climbing city of Innsbruck in Austria for tonight's final. We're in the Olympiahalle, which has hosted 2 Olympic Games. And we have 6 male finalists. They are Roland Rugens, Tomoa Naraseki, Martin Stranek, Dmitry Sharafutinov, Jongwon Chon and Sean McCall. However, we have 7 female finalists. Shauna Coxey and Anna Sturr were tied in the semi-final. They were also tied in the qualifiers. The judges confirmed that they would both progress to the final. So Shauna and Anna both in the final, along with Yanya Garnbray, Sol Sa, Megan Mascarenas, Miho Nanaka and Akio Noguchi, who was top in the semi-finals.
4, 3, 2, 1.
So they both groups head over to the left-hand side of the stage. Now, men's boulder that you can see in the background there. One of the few slabs we've had so far in men's finals this year. Women's boulder 3, extremely dynamic. We think the route setters think that the best way to do this is with a triple dyno. Will the competitors figure it out? And will they be able to do it? Of course, it's not out of the question. They will find their own beater. Sierra, when you're inspecting routes like this and you listen to other people's beta, how often does it happen where you think, no, that's not what I think?
Honestly, not that often. Everyone's so good at this point at figuring out beta. But every once in a while someone throws something in there and you're like, okay, that's going to be like the last resort when I can't get off the ground.
And also when you're inspecting, do you try to come up with one way where you think, that's how I'm going to do it? Or do you come up with a plan A and you think, I'll give that a couple of goes, and if not, I'll try plan B?
I usually come up with a plan A and then I have a plan B kind of on the back burner. Honestly, what happens a lot of the times, though, is like you said, you can't totally read the problem until you're on it. So you can have like the best of intentions with your beta, but you get on it and suddenly what you were thinking is totally not right, and you have to adapt, which is what makes it so tricky because you're constantly changing what you're doing based on how the boulder feels.
Doubly difficult on an evening like tonight. We've got by far the biggest crowd we've had this season. I'm not quite sure what the capacity is. Several thousand. You've got a very knowledgeable crowd shouting and cheering, and I did see 1 or 2 beers being drunk as well in the crowd. And that only adds to the pressure. Makes it even harder to think clearly if your plan A is not working. We're on to the final boulder. This is women's 4 in the foreground. Hopefully we'll see this from front on. It features a really funny looking clock. I can only describe it as a clock. You'll see what I mean. And the route setters think that the only way you can do it is by grabbing 11 o'clock. If this sounds like complete nonsense, bear with me. When we see it front on and when we see the climbers on it, it will make sense. It features a clock. And just remember, 11 o'clock is the key. Men's boulder 4. Tricky mantle shelf move. And a big dyno at the end. Obviously, remember, these being the fourth boulders, they are likely to decide this final. And in the men's event particularly, it's going to be a spectacular finish. You can see above Sean McColl's head, big gap between any good holds. They're going to have to bet the farm on the final jump. It could decide this World Cup. It's the hand of Martin Stranick. Looking very relaxed in his flip-flops on the mat. Good conditions for climbing here tonight. It's nice and cool in the arena. Probably going to heat up. I've got a big crowd, bright lights, but currently conditions fairly good. Solsar Miho Nanaka and Akio Noguchi. Yanya Gambare and Anna Stur. Where's Shauna Coxey? There she is. Thank you, Shauna.
3, 2, 1.
That is the end of the observation period. The athletes just double checking that they don't need to do any more interviews. Disappear back into the isolation zone. And we are very close to the appearance of our first climber. So Sierra, that was our first glimpse of tonight's finalists. Who did you think looked most relaxed? Who do you think will cope best with this atmosphere?
Oh, everyone looked pretty relaxed, honestly. Like, no one seemed to think it was going to be a huge deal. I just think everyone's so experienced and they're just glad to be in finals. If I could say like the happiest climber to be in finals, though, it seems like Sean was just elated to be on there. So can't wait to see how he performs.
Yeah, Sean McColl, many people's tip to do very well in the overall standings this year, has not made a final up until now. And
I know.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, no. Yeah, I mean, surprised just because Sean's so good, but that just goes to show you how hard these competitions are.
So while we just have some more of the venue MC, who certainly earns his euros every year. Just a reminder that you can contact us on Twitter, hashtag IFSCWC. Might even get a tweet from my co-commentator. A live tweet from the commentary box, which you can just see. You can see us lit up there, the only thing lit up in this big dark arena, top left of your screen. Hi everyone. Yeah, you can interact with us on hashtag IFSCWC on Twitter. Let us know what you think the podiums will be. If you really back yourself, get your predictions in early before you've seen anyone climb. Extra kudos if you got it right before you saw them climb. So yeah, let us know who you think is going to be on the podium. Hashtag IFSCWC.
All right, since I'm reading your tweets right now, someone thinks that if Solsa and Jean-Juan have a child, they're going to do V15 at age 10. So that's the prediction. We'll see in a couple of years, maybe.
We might have to wait. They might be a bit young for kids. You never know. There's certainly, if they do have a little baby, it will certainly have some pedigree. So,
yeah, good genetics.
Speaking of pedigree, doesn't get much better than Anna Stur. 22 World Cup wins, straight into action.
I think this is her first finals of the season as well.
Well, she's showing no sign of wanting to enjoy, wanting to enjoy the occasion, just firing straight up that boulder. So Anna Stur, because we have 7 women in tonight's final, because she was tied with Shauna Coxey in the semi-final and the qualification, Anna will climb on her own. crowd, I've no doubt, will be absolutely delighted with that. Anna Sturr is the biggest of heroes in Innsbruck. You can see in the bottom of your screen there, she grew up in Rum. That is about 5 kilometres down the road. You could walk there if you'd drunk one too many beers to drive home. It's that close. So she is Innsbruck through and through. She now lives in the city itself. And the crowd are willing her on. So women's boulder 1. The route setters want fast boulders first out. They want action to get the crowd warmed up. Anna Sturr certainly climbing fast. And if you look at these funky white and black holes, they're even more funky when you touch them, because the white that Anna was just trying to grab is extremely slippery. Can't really get much out of it. But the black, plenty of friction. So they can only be used in a very specific way. You see there, she placed her left foot and it instantly slipped on the white part of the hold. She had to reposition it on the black, and then when she went for the higher hold with the left hand, she couldn't hold it on the white section. So we've watched Anna a couple of times on this boulder. She went both times, led with the left hand. The route setters think that the best way to do this is to go with both hands. See, a right hand, there we go. Not that the crowd needed any encouragement to support Anna Sturr, but she asked for even more. I was about to say, that big hold she's about to go for, they think the best way to do it is to go with both hands.
Nice.
She does. Anna Sturr obviously agrees. The row. That is the sound of the Olympiahalle when Anna Sturr tops the boulder.
Great send.
Great stuff from Anna. I believe that was third try.
I think so.
So job done. Yeah, we see it here. This is the hole I was talking about. She went with the left, followed by the right, but in the same movement. And that is the route setter's intended way of doing it. So these holes, the black bit, lots of friction, good to hold. The white bit, shiny, smooth, not much use. Roland Rugens, first time out on the mat. First male climber out. He's on to men's 1. This is intended to be another fast boulder. Here's Shauna Coxey. After her version of a blip last week in Mumbai, 9th place, she'll look to get back on the top of the podium. She dominated the first 3 events. It would be a real statement if she could walk out and flash this boulder. Can she do it? So she goes with just the left hand. That's what Anna Sturr tried. A completely different method from Shauna. We had a wow from our co-commentator, and the MC in the venue echoed it.
Wow.
Wow, she can have one from me. Shauna Coxey finding her own way of doing it. Very successful. What a statement. Flashes the first boulder.
I think it's safe to say she's climbing strong.
She is. She looked very, very calm earlier today. I didn't speak to her for long, but quickly said hello. Looked about as relaxed as you can be before going out in front of a huge, passionate Innsbruck crowd who, let's face it, are cheering for one of your rivals. Shauna didn't look in the slightest bit bothered by that. So on Twitter, hashtag IFSCWC, we have a lot of people fancy Sean McCall to win here. As you will know if you've been watching this whole season, not been to a final yet, absolutely crushed the semi-finals here in Innsbruck. Roland Rugens. Now he stays facing in. It's felt that possibly the easiest way to do this is to initially face in, spin round, left shoulder first so that you're facing the crowd, and then spin round again. So you do a 180, grab the next volume, another 180. Roland so far not trying it that way. Nope, doesn't fancy the turning method. Ooh. Just struggling to hold that crimp. 24-year-old from Riga, just doing his own cleaning. He's had a pretty good season so far. 21st in Meiringen, then 6th in Kazo, 17th in Chongqing. He's guaranteed to already match his best finish so far this season. As I just said, 6th in Kazo. He'll at least equal that tonight. Can he go better? Pulls on, still not trying the turning method. Worth remembering that the way the route setters do it is not necessarily the way the climbers will do it. So far, it's proven the case. Goes for the bonus. Struggling to keep his feet on. Oh. Will he have another attempt? He's got 5 seconds. It looks like he will. You're not in a final in Innsbruck every day. No point leaving anything behind or saving any energy. Give it everything. No, not for Roland this time. So for those of you just tuning in, we're live in Innsbruck. I'm here with Sierra Blair Coyle. Sierra, our first look at Anna Sturr and Shauna Coxey. What are your first impressions?
Both are looking good. Shauna obviously just came out and walked that boulder, so I'm excited to see how she does on the rest, and hopefully she can continue the streak.
One interesting point with Shauna was that she did the boulder completely differently to Anna, and also completely differently to how it was anticipated by the route setting team that it would be done. Here's Tomoe Narasaki. First in Chongqing, second in Mumbai. Going for his 3rd podium in a row. Janja Garnbret, a rising star, women's climbing. Meiringen was her only World Cup she's competed in so far, and she came 5th. Not a bad debut in Boulder World Cups. Somebody just needs to have a word with the lighting man, get a bit more light on this. We see that hole, we talked about it earlier. The white part is useless, the black part, plenty of friction. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just wondering how she was going to do that. I was hoping that beta was going to stick. See a 3rd way to do it today.
Here's Tomoe Narasaki, already making good progress. It's on the bonus. You can't see it, there it is. So he's got the volume that his right hand is on, and then the top hold. Looked like he almost abandoned that. It's a small injury to the elbow. No, I thought he was clutching his left elbow. It doesn't appear he is. So, on the hashtag IFSCWC on Twitter, Paul Hyams believes the podium will be Shauna Coxey, followed by Aki Noguchi, then Miho Nanaka. And the men will be Sean McCall, Dmitry Sharafutinov, and Jongwon Chon. Make sure you let us know what you think the podium will be. As we watch Janja Garnbret, can she make it onto the podium? Well, if she climbs like that, she won't have too much trouble. 17 years old, in the biggest, possibly the best World Cup on the boulder circuit. Absolutely takes it in her stride. Minute 35 left on the clock and she's already back into isolation. So she did it the same as Shauna, only used the good side of that hold, the black side. And only once she had both hands up did she move her hand onto the left where there's no friction. And then from there, no problem. Tomoe Narasaki still out on the mat. Shaking out. It's a physical first bowl of this for the men. So it's a hanging start, this boulder. And as I say, we were expecting the climbers to spin. Yeah, it's hard to judge. He doesn't give a lot away to Tomoe Narasaki, but he did look slightly nervous, I thought, during the presentation. It's always hard to know if you're reading too much into body language and facial expression. He didn't look super relaxed. Just needs to settle down here. He can climb boulders like this. So his time's up. But because this is the final, he's allowed to carry on. But unfortunately, he only gets a couple more seconds. He's been something of a surprise this year, Tomoe Narasaki.
He really has. Even in semifinals, I feel like I'd be watching and all of a sudden he was sending something. It's cool to see, though. Always fun to see new faces, you know, doing well and pushing it.
He won the Asian Youth Championship, in 2015. So he's been someone that the Japanese have been talking about for a while, but he has certainly delivered on his first full year on the circuit. Here's Martin Stranick. Solskjaer was chatting to Martin yesterday. He does like steep walls. He said to me, this wall suits me. So he had a second this year. Extremely close to winning the World Cup in Bouldering. Now it looks like he might be considering the turning method. No.
I think so.
Perhaps, yes. This is what the route setters thought might happen. No. I might just stop talking for a second and see what he does. Because every time I open my mouth, he changed direction. Solskjaer. So these holds, we've mentioned them already. The black bit, there's tons of friction. The white bit, there's none. Really interesting holds. If the whole thing had lots of friction, I'm sure the climbers would be up this in no time. But the lack of friction on much of the hold really adds a dimension. See a replay of Solskjaer here. What gave way? It's that left foot just as you move the right up. Doesn't seem to mind, still smiling. Second final in 6 days for Solskjaer. She was fifth in Mumbai. Both climbers just taking their time. Fast physical starts in both men's and women's competitions. Solsar pulls back on. From what we've seen so far, you'd imagine she'll need a top here because the women have been getting this one done. So, how will she deal with this move up to the large round volume? So that left-hand side, the white side, there's no grip there. And we see the problems it causes. We've seen a few different methods of dealing with it. So far, all have been successful. Solsar needs to top this, but we're watching Martin Stranick now. Not had a top, men's one. 1 minute to go for Martin Stranick. Getting an extreme close-up of that hold there. We are getting our pictures this evening from Austrian TV. So if they do focus on Anna Sturr a little bit, you'll have to forgive them. She is the local hero. Here's Solsar, goes to the right then the left. It seems to be the best way to do it.
Hopefully she can get this send on the last attempt here.
Yeah, she's a fourth climber out. And as things stand, the only one not to top this. Martin Stranick. So both climbers off the ground. Time's up. This will be their last attempt. Will it be successful? Martin just struggling to get himself set. Now annoyed with himself, so we can focus on Solsar. Now Shauna Coxey attempted that method. It worked for her, doesn't work for Solsar. Early days, but that could come back to haunt her. We've had 3 tops out of 4 on that boulder. Solsar the first not to do it. Sierra, when you're in isolation, do you know generally what the score is or what you need to do? How aware are you of what's going on outside?
It kind of depends on the venue and just how far away actual ISO is from the climbing. In the US, it's pretty easy to tell, especially because the commentary at the venue is in English, so you always know what's going on, but you know, here I would have no idea.
We do have the big scoreboard up in the middle of the venue. 90% of the time it's got the score up there, but whether they look at it while they're climbing is another matter. Whether they've got time to do the maths on where they stand and what they need to do is altogether something else. So, first look at Dmitry Sharafutinov this evening.
Curious to see how Megan does this move up here.
So the route setters believe you need to go for this hold with both hands at the same time. They think that's the easiest way to do it. It's not how Shauna Coxey did it though, and it worked just fine for her, and it doesn't look like it's how Megan Mascarenhas will do it.
Yeah. She should be good.
Big statement from Megan. So, flash from her and Shauna Coxey. See it again. And I believe we're going to see Megan for the whole season next year.
I think so. It sounds like that's her plan.
That would be great, because whenever we've seen her, she's been a major part of the competition. Here's Dmitry Sharafutinov. Haven't had a top yet on men's one. 2 minutes left in the round. Dimitri just asked for the brushes to come out. So far, just watch Dimitri, that's the turning method we were talking about. We didn't see which shoulder he led with. So Moa Narasaki is the only climber so far to have got the bonus on this boulder. This is a replay, by the way, of Dimitri Sharafutinov. This isn't live. This is live. Dimitri resting. Well, he's won 11 World Cups, Dimitri Sharafutinov. Not to mention 3 World Championships. He's forgotten more about competition climbing than most people know. So, he goes for the turning method again. Just that left hand, right hand, sorry, giving way on him. We just mentioned earlier about whether you're aware of the score. Given that Dimitri probably knows nobody's done this boulder yet, would you be tempted just to save your energy?
I think in a finals you just can't do that. I mean, because it can just come down to that first boulder when you're on the last boulder, so you always have to give it your all and leave nothing to chance.
Moa Narasaki did get the bonus.
4, 3,
No, he doesn't fancy another go, Dimitri.
1.
See him here. Gives the crowd 2 tickets to the gun show, as Ron Burgundy would say. And unfortunately, it doesn't yield a top and it doesn't yield a bonus. So Miho Nanaka, last week's winner in Mumbai, Jongwon Chon, reigning Boulder World Cup champion. Now, one thing I just noticed, I don't know if you saw it on your screen, when the climbers come out, there's an advertising video played on the big screen. Perhaps so that the climbers don't look at the score. We'll keep an eye on that when Jongwon and Miho walk off after their attempts. Is that something the organisers are doing to try and keep the athletes somewhat in the dark about the score? Miho Nanaka looking to back up a fantastic week in Mumbai. You see Jongwon Chon there in the background. No problem up to the bonus.
Oh, I think he has this.
Very confident.
Just a few more moves.
There is the top, tantalisingly close. The MC and the crowd loving this. He's got it.
Awesome.
Jongwon Chon. There is a happy man. He's not won a World Cup this year. He won't get a much better start than that. He doesn't want to come down.
Flat ascend.
They're a knowledgeable lot, the Innsbruck crowd. They'll appreciate that. He's very happy. If anything, needs to calm down in isolation. Needs to compose himself again. Probably allow himself a couple of minutes just to enjoy that moment. But after that, he needs to refocus. His foot cut loose here. Looked like he might have lost it. But once that right hand landed, there's only one place he was going. Anybody on Twitter, would you like to reconsider your podiums having seen that? Let us know, hashtag IFSCWC. Well, I don't know if the competition DJ is doing this on purpose, but Michael Jackson's Black or White has just come on as Miho Nanaka tops the black and white problem. Women's 1. So Solsa, the only woman not to top boulder 1.
Und für alle Pessimisten des Lebens, Reine Schwarz kann auch einmal die positive Seite bedeuten.
Just watch a replay of that, Solsa. So she needs to get that left foot on the left-hand side of that hold, where the black high friction area is. That's what it means. Two legends of the sport onto the stage, Sean McCall and Aki Noguchi. As we see there, Jongwon Chon, so far the only person to top men's boulder 1, and it was a flash. In the women's event, Aki Noguchi does not have the bonus yet. She hasn't attempted the boulder. So every woman apart from Sol Sa has topped this boulder 1. Here's Sean McCall. He was on fantastic form in the semi-finals. Something's just clicked for him back in Europe. His girlfriend is here tonight. Whatever is happening, he's certainly hit form as he's hit Europe. And how?
It's looking good.
Sean McCall safely on the bonus. No. So Jongwon Chon went with the right hand, Sean tried the left, and it looks, is that a loss of some skin? You know Sean well. Why do you think he's suddenly hit this form this weekend? Is he a man that climbs better with his home comforts and his girlfriend and familiar food?
You know, I think everyone climbs better kind of when they're in their home zone. So I'm sure that has something to do with it, and it always helps to be a few comps in. You know, at least for me, like I felt more relaxed probably by the 3rd comp, and Sean competes way more than me, but I'm sure he feels more relaxed too. Plus he's on his own time zone now, which I'm sure is nice.
These small things do make a difference. Aki Noguchi, a long way from her time zone, but she doesn't seem to have any problems. So this is our final time on women's 1 and men's 1. Just to remind you, if you're just joining us, those black and white holes, the white bits, no friction, the black bits, lots of friction. It requires accurate climbing and plenty of forethought, because if you go wrong and end up relying on one of the white parts of the hold, you are likely to get spat off. KO, she went for the high friction side, but without any success. Sean McCall back on. He's not trying the turning method either. So, seems solid up to here. He's already been to the bonus. There's a bit of a reach this time. If he can latch this volume above him, he should be on top in no time. Taking his time. He's feeling his way. Jongwon Chon lunged for the top of that volume with his right hand, and it worked for him. Will Sean try the same? I think he was lining up for it. Kieran Noguchi tops boulder 1, so 6 out of 7 women top the first boulder. Sean McCall, who talked about his experience, as we see a replay of Akio. Just needed to get that left foot perfect, which she did. Sean McCall is off the ground. There he is. Now, wave to the crowd, he shrugs as if to say, hey, you can't top everything. Now that we mentioned earlier about whether the result disappears from the big screen as the climbers go off stage, it doesn't, so they can have a good look at the scoreboard when they go off. Not always the case in every competition. And then we see it, Jungwon Chon, the only man to top that boulder, and it was a flash. Sean McCall and Tomoe Narasaki both got the bonus. Different story in the women's competition. Megan Mascarenas, Shauna Coxey, both flashed the boulder. Miho Nanaka, Yanya Gambre, Kinaguchi, Anna Storr all got it. Sol Sa got the bonus, but not the top. If you could hear the venue MC going absolutely crazy, it's because he's inviting onto the stage Anna Storr, legend of the sport, very popular climber, never more so than in Innsbruck. A hometown of Rum, just up the road from the city. So our first look at women's 2, very dynamic. Let's have a look at Anna Storr's method. You can see how insecure those feet are. She's just working to get that right foot solid. Already on the bonus. First attempt. Quick look at the crowd there with the very busy drink stand in the middle. Anna, just compose yourself. Sierra, you've climbed against people like Anna Storr. Do you feel their aura? Do you feel intimidated when you're climbing alongside her, or is it just exciting?
I think it's just exciting. I mean, I've been lucky enough to compete in a decent amount of World Cups at this point, so I'm just used to being surrounded by climbers who are really, really good. And
we're very lucky to be able to watch them week in, week out. Here goes Anna Storr, the crowd clapping along with the music. So she's got that move left onto the bonus. Fairly sorted now. It's that next dynamic move that she's currently struggling with. Let's have another look.
Auf jeden Fall mit einem erfrischenden Unterstützungsapplaus für Anna Storr. Den kann sie immer brauchen.
There's the crowd. Get a quick look at them. See Anna's experience here. Despite the crowd clapping along and all the support for her, she just compose yourself on the mat, no rush. Make each attempt count. So she already has the bonus. Can she go one better? Pulls on for attempt number 3. These moves starting to feel quite familiar to her now. She's so close to holding that right hand.
I think what makes this so hard is those feet are obviously really big and good, but the hand she's going to, just those two crimps are not that positive, as you can see.
Perfect timing, thank you, Mr. Director. Anna enjoying competing in front of the home crowd, just geeing them up for a final attempt. They clap along. Now she's on the bonus. Will she try the same method again? Does she think she can get something out of it? That last attempt from Anna was more what the route setters had in mind, where your feet move at the same time as your hands. Unfortunately for Anna, did not yield success this time. See it there. Foot, a split second later the hand goes. So back out Shauna Coxey, Roland Rugens. Shauna Coxey, hometown Runcorn. Roland Rugens, hometown Riga. Roland. Straight into men's two. So this just slippy off there, Roland. I was about to say, now they think the best way of doing this is a triple dyno rightwards. We'll come back to that. We've watched Shauna. Been in imperious form every event apart from Mumbai, when she wasn't too bad. 9th is not too shabby, but compared to where she has been this season, it felt like a blip to watch. Looking firmly back on form now though. There we go, already onto the bonus. Brushing her hair out the way. What method will she try here? Sierra, you're around Shauna all the time. We'll come back to that.
That was great.
That was great.
What a stick. I think she should be good now. Just one more move. Nice.
Shauna Coxey. No wonder she's smiling. Well, when she comes back into isolation 2.5 minutes early, Anna Storr will know what's happened if she doesn't know already. I was about to say, let's just watch that again. Somehow managed to stick it. When we see her face now, surely you can tell. I think she thought she was almost off there. Do you feel that Shauna's been different this year, her demeanour?
I mean, she's, serious and focused as always, but from the outside, just seeing her climbing, she's always been really good, but this year, I don't know what she's doing, but it's working, training hard.
Free of injury this year. She's been plagued with a few injury issues the last couple of years. Roland Rugens, we haven't really seen him yet on men's two. As I said, the best way to do this is likely a triple dyno. Hard to describe. If he attempts it, you'll see what I mean. You move right, slap with both hands, and then using your momentum, slap again with the right hand. Difficult to describe. It should make sense if we see someone do it. Is Roland going to be the man? 6th in Kazo. He's already going to match that.
Oh, that is a nasty start.
Not a good first foothold. He takes a look at it.
I think that's frustrating as a competitor too when you can't get off the first move. You always want to get at least one move at the problem.
very interesting when you chat to IFSC route setters. They really think about the psychology of these boulders. They'll say to you, we wanted an easy one first, or we wanted a hard one first, or we wanted a slab first. They want to get into the minds of the competitors. How easy do you find it to shake off a bad result? We see Roland here not getting to grips with this boulder. He's still got 10 seconds left.
I think it's just what you have to do, and I mean, I don't know how this round's going to turn out, but, you know, what if he flashed the next 2 boulders and that could bring him the win? It's just you have to fight until the end and not let one problem get in the way of that.
Good advice. I suspect easier said than done. But yeah, you've just got to put it behind you. So Roland, he heads in. No tops, no bonuses just yet, but as you rightly say, 2 boulders still to come. So that hole he was trying to match there is very poor. I did actually have a feel of it, but I required a step ladder to get there. And it's not a good hold. The fact that I can't hang on it isn't saying much, but I don't think many climbers will be able to hang on it. So you will probably need to keep moving once you get there. Let's see, Tomoe Narasaki back out. He got the bonus on boulder 1. Yanni Gambray. Top boulder 2 on her second attempt, top boulder 1, sorry, on her second attempt. So Tomoe will have to throw himself rightwards. With triple dyno, both hands and the right hand again. Also struggling with that foothold, slips off straight away. Yanya, a look of concentration. Does a lot of lead climbing, being on a boulder for a long time won't bother her. She's more than used to taking her time. Just trying to suss out what to do with those feet. Exactly how Shauna Coxey did it. If anything, Yanya looked even more solid. Get ready for a cheer. There it is.
Great send.
Yanya Gambray, 2 tops from 2 boulders. So Anna Sturr, who didn't top this boulder, will have seen 2 competitors come in early. I mean, she'll know full well that means they've topped. How much do you interact with the other climbers when you're in isolation?
I mean, during finals, you know, you talk about other things, definitely not the boulder problems, but I think it's different for everyone. Some people just like to be in their zone and other people like to chat with others.
So people do just chat about
just whatever, like what your plans are coming up.
As we cut to Tomoe Narasaki, there was me confidently saying he wouldn't be able to hang that hold, and he does. So much for my predictions. That did come from the route setters. They didn't think you could hang that hold, but Tomoe Narasaki proved them wrong. Now then, there's a hidden knee bar here. Just to the right of that volume that he's got his hands on. Will he spot it? Will he need it? If he doesn't spot it, he might need it. Some issue with his forearm there. Let's have another look at this. It was the right arm that he grabbed as he went down. It looked fairly innocuous from here, but obviously not too serious. He's still on the mat. As we say, 1 in Chongqing. Second last time out. Tomoe, 30 seconds left. Having a good shake out. Mora Narasaki currently third in the overall standings. Behind Alexei Rubtsov and Kokoro Fuji, neither of whom qualified for tonight's final.
4, 3, 2, 1.
So he's back on that second to last volume. Eyes to the top.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
That is heartbreaking for Samoa. So Jongwon Chon, the only man with the top in tonight's men's final so far. We'll watch Samoa again. He was close there. It's a closed crimp, there's a hold above it, that above the finishing hold. And it just blocks you, it just stops you from using it exactly how you want it. As I say, I found that out by going up on a ladder. The competitors are finding it out the hard way. So Solsal, the only woman not to top Boulder 1. She needs this. She's setting herself. Has a look over the shoulder, but unfortunately it doesn't make the hold any closer. Creeps leftwards. Now Shauna Cox and Yanya Gambre both slapped the right foot over and just kept the left hand exactly where it is. And it worked for them. Will it work for Solsal? Will she try it that way? I think that's what she's lining up for, yes. Wasn't even looking up at the hold above. Martin Stranik eyeing up men's Boulder 2. So Martin, let's have a look at that very poor right foothold. Really eyeing it, wishing it to be a bit bigger. Unfortunately it isn't.
I don't think there's a single male competitor that foot hasn't given a problem to.
No, it drive you mad. They're just setting up to dyno rightwards and the foot slips on. And to each his own, but in my opinion the soundtrack's improved in the venue. We've got Take the Power Back, Rage Against the Machine blasting out. Solsal, will she try the same again? I think she will. She's not even looking up. Now she is. So that was the method Anna Stur tried.
It seems like the heinous crimp is going to be the way to go.
The Shauna Coxey method.
I think so, yeah, or maybe even Yanya's with the match. She just looked so solid when she did it.
She did. That's the method that's worked so far. Wasn't the way the route setters envisaged it would be done, but rarely is exactly how they think it will be done. So, Solsal, having not topped Boulder 1 when everybody else did, needs this, or she could begin to get slightly left behind in this final. Tried with the right hand again. She seems slightly torn between the two methods. 10 seconds ago, this would be her last chance. Martin Stranik really not been having a lot of joy with men's 2.
3, 2, 1.
No, not for Martin.
I hope someone does the triple dyno on men's too. I want to see that happen tonight.
Well, the researchers and myself believe that you couldn't do it the way Tomoe Narasaki did it, but he clearly can. He didn't top it, but he came very close. Quickly. No, not for Solsa. So, needs a top if she wants to make her way up this women's final. Amusing tweet here. We'll come back to the amusing tweet. We'll just quickly recap. John Won Chon, the only man with the top thus far. For the women, Shauna Coxey and Yanya Garmbray have 2. Everybody else have 1 except Solsa. And you might not have seen that, but Megan Mascarena's slightly comedy moment. Her and Dimitri couldn't remember if the boulders were on the left or the right. The MC directed them to where they needed to go. I was about to say, nice tweet from Gavin Edwards. Yanya, wow. I think she might actually be Shauna's little sister. They certainly did that boulder 2 very similarly. Yanya and Shauna, excuse me, not Shaunya. Here's Dimitri. Got a sneaky feeling he might get on with this boulder, but my predictions are always wrong, so apologies in advance, Dimitri, for cursing you. So this is the triple dyno that Sierra just mentioned. It doesn't look as if Dimitri wants to do it that way. He's going to have to dyno to an extent. Right foot causing all sorts of problems.
Oh, wow.
New method from Megan. Now she's got a bit of a problem with it. She'll probably have to get that left hand where the right is. No problem.
She's good. She's going to get the flash. Nice.
Megan Mascarena's 2 boulders, 2 flashes. Well, great start for Megan, Team USA. Just tuning in, I have one of her compatriots, Sierra Blair Coyle, alongside me. Great to see Megan doing so well. Very low key. What's she like as a character, Megan?
She's just a really sweet girl, you know. Obviously really likes climbing, and she's a good kid. I think I actually met her when she was 11 at Youth Nationals once, so it's cool to see her, you know, just crushing it internationally and doing so well.
Now, I've been told a good bit of trivia about her. She's a Rubik's Cube expert. Is that the case?
I think so, yeah. If I recall, I've seen her do the Rubik's Cube, and it always impresses me because I'm garbage at them.
Remember, she won in Vale last year. Has to be considered a serious contender now, currently top with Shauna Coxey. 2 boulders, 2 flashes. Here's Dimitri. So far, proving me completely wrong as per usual. He is not getting on with his boulder. Now that's a triple dyno we were talking about. Both hands, and then a slap with the right. See it here. 1, 2, 3.
I think whenever I think of a triple dyno, I think of decent holds, but this one is just breaking the mold on that.
It is cruel, the triple dyno, and the holds are terrible. And what he's aiming for on the right of the volume, that one that he's touching with the right hand is reasonably good.
You can get it. You can get it, Dimitri.
Dimitri, no joy on boulder 1, no top, no bonus, so needs a top sooner or later.
Oh.
That's more like it. We've got a big cheer from the crowd. They know good climbing when they see it. As I say, one thing to watch out for. As we see the clock tick down, he can finish his attempt. Between the hold that he has his left hand on, the hold he has his right hand on, we think there's a knee bar, a sneaky knee bar. There hasn't been a top on this boulder yet, there won't be one now. And I just been told that on Twitter we have a new nickname for Megan. MMM, Machine Megan Mascarenas. That could stick, Triple M. Sounds like a rapper. As we watch Dimitri here, as I say, between his two hands, there is a sneaky knee bar, but he wasn't able to use it. Let's see what gave way here. And left hand just began to slip and he couldn't regain it. As we watch the triple dyno, that's how we think it should be done. Now Jongwon Chon, the only man that topped boulder 1. This is a replay of Dimitri. Let's see here, let's see a replay one more time. No, we won't see it. Back to the live action. Miho Nanaka on the left there. Jongwon Chon didn't have the best start to the season, 17th in Meiringen, then 37th in Kazo, not even close to the semis, but then 3rd in Chongqing, 4th in Mumbai, and tonight the only man with a top already in the bag. Looks very controlled so far. That right foothold he's on now has been causing all sorts of trouble, and you can see him readjusting on it. He wants it cleaned. As Miho Nanaka, she's been something of a surprise package this year.
She's been doing really well. I remember seeing her last year in Haiyan, and then she just won India. You know, deservedly so.
Miho Nanaka pulls back on. Gets the right foot up. She'll be heading left in just a second once she gets herself set. See Jongwon Chon on the right of the screen. Is he going to go for the triple dyno? I think he is. 1, 2. Doesn't need the third bit. Well, so much for that hole not being much use. Scintillating stuff from Jongwon Chon. Well, if he can be the only man to top 2 boulders, he really would be in a commanding position. There's the knee bar. But
wow.
Unfortunately, we cut to a close-up of his hand, but we could see live it was a fist pump from Jongwon Chon before he matched the top hold. A risky business, but if you pull it off, you do look super cool celebrating before it's in the bag. Will we see it here? No, we see the dyno. Okay, completely disregard my earlier comments that hole was not good enough to hang on its own. Forget that, would be proved comprehensively wrong. Here we see it. You haven't finished yet. If you do that every time, the day will come where you fall off midway through celebrating. I wouldn't have the guts personally, but playing up to the crowd, so we should. So.
I bet everyone who missed that knee bar at the top is going to be hurting when they figure that out later.
Just began to doubt myself then. The scoreboard at the venue here said Jongwon Chon had no tops, but it's now been amended. He has 2. 2 for 2. The only man with any so far. Miho Nanaka. She needs this. Everybody apart from Anna Stoh and Solsar so far have topped this boulder. Kia Noguchi still to come. Another method again for Miho Nanaka. Right hand goes up. Little chuckle there from Miho Nanaka. Two boulders, 2 tops. So back out, Sean McCall, dominant in the semi-finals, and Kia Noguchi equally dominant. So Jongwon Chon, the only man with a top, and he has 2. Topped both boulders. If Sean McCall doesn't top this, fear Jongwon Chon could just run away with this final. He'd have to really blow it. Sierra, great to have her Kyo back on form.
I know, she's always one of my favorites, so it's cool to see her coming into this round in first place. Hopefully she'll get the flash here.
So she tried the slightly more dynamic method. There's Sean, or Sean's hand. Lost in thought, it seems. I think for the sake of the competition, it would be great if Sean could get this, or Jongwon Chon could not mathematically have it in the bag, but not far off. 2 problems in. Come on, Sean. The Innsbruck crowd will know that. So will we see the triple dyno? 1, 2, 3, yes we do.
Someone did it.
Sean just needs to compose himself here.
Hopefully he gets that knee bar. I think he will.
I think he spotted it. He doesn't need it.
Doesn't need it.
Sean McCall, he of the new hipster haircut, tops the boulder, keeps his final very much alive. The crowd love that. They know that we now have a real competition on our hands. Although, as somebody has commented on Twitter, Jongwon Chon engaged the beast mode. Can't put it any better. Watch Sean, little toe hook there. That's what over 100 World Cups of experience looks like. Sets himself before he goes. So, Kia Noguchi, boulder 2. Must be slightly distracting. We've suddenly got some very retro 80s music on. Slight change of tempo from the DJ. Throwing a bit of a sidewinder on, just as Akia went for that move. I'm sure she's not listening to the music though. So, 5 seconds to go, this will be a last attempt. She's off the mat so she can carry on even though the time's up. So which method will she try here? Not for Akia Noguchi. So 4 women topped that boulder. 3 did not. If you're wondering if I've got my maths wrong, we do have 7 women in this final. I'll explain in just a second. Jongwon Chon, we see him there. 2 tops from 2. Sean McCall, 1 top. Followed by Tomoe Narasaki, Dimitri Sharafutinov, Martin Stranik and Roland Rugens. In the women's, Megan Mascarenas and Shauna Coxey lead the way with Yanya Garnbray in 3rd, Miho Nanaka, Akia Noguchi, Anna Stor and Sol Sa making up the rest of the final. Yep, we have 7 women in the final tonight. Anna Stor and Shauna Coxey were tied in the qualifiers and the semi-finals. So they both progress to the final. Is that a Stuart or not? Well, we very briefly saw Anna Stuart. She disappeared back in again. Slight issue with the choreography there. Quite sure what happened. So Sierra, with 2 boulders in, we can see the scoreboard from here.
Yeah.
Jongwon Chon streaking into the lead. What have you made of him tonight?
Oof. He's just climbing so well. I mean, the competition isn't over yet, but he just looks so good. I mean,
and your teammate Megan Mascarenas in the women's, 2 boulders, 2 flashes. Can she win?
Oh, well, she can definitely win. I mean, at this point, I think it's going to be between her and Shauna, maybe Yanya as well. But you never know, 2 more boulders, anything can happen.
Yes, we currently have 4 women with 2 tops. Megan Mascarenas, Shauna Coxey, Yanya Garnbray and Miho Nanaka. Akia Noguchi and Anna Stor have 1 top each. And Sol Sa does not have a top. She needs to get on the scoreboard sooner rather than later. So we're just still waiting for Anna Stor. I'm not quite sure what happened there. We came out, went back in again. Oh well, at least the crowd got a glimpse of their favourite climber.
Yeah. The support for here is just crazy.
There's only one person the locals want to win. You're seeing it. Close up of that hold, Sean McCall, triple dyno, 1, 2, 3. Feet scrabbled, but he held it. Great moment from Sean. Had he not got that, Fei Zhongwan Chon might have just begun to pull away in this final. Sean keeping him honest. He's looked great all weekend. Just see it again. See the feet, didn't quite get them set first time. He was solid enough to get them the next time. Then we see the Olympia Halle. Huge venue for a Boulder World Cup.
And it's packed in here.
It is packed, as you would expect, in Innsbruck. We moved from the traditional Innsbruck venue of the Marktplatz in the city centre to the Olympia Halle. People were wondering whether there was a big enough crowd to fill it. Well, there's your answer. There's our Austrian counterparts. Kilian Fischhuber nearest the camera. Hugely successful competitor and partner of Anna Sturr.
Looks like she's coming out.
Usually a safe assumption in Innsbruck that when the crowd cheer, Anna Sturr is about to come out.
Really excited to see problem 3 for the women. I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, we had a triple dyno on the previous men's boulder, and we think we'll have one on women's 3. You can see Anna rehearsing it there. Crowd really getting fired up. It's hard to hear yourself think, but that's exactly what we want. Huge support here. Currently sitting in at 6th. Anna. Yep, she's figured out the triple dyno. You can see from her movement, she knows what she needs to do. Amazing to think that 10 years ago, 2006, she was 3rd overall in the World Cups, and here she is, still doing it. She also won the Arco Rockmaster that year. 10 years on. I'm sure she'll be back there in August. Still only 28. That's the hole she's going for. Very good outdoor climber as well, Anna. Climbed 8B boulders. Living in Innsbruck as well, keen skier. Bit of an all-rounder. That's how you do it. That's the method.
Almost a stick there.
Very close. Now we just need the execution. See the clock behind her there, 2 minutes. So yeah, we think there's a triple dyno here. The local MC doing a great job firing the crowd up here. Not that they need firing up when Anna Sturr's on stage. Just rehearsing the moves. Sticks it this time in the Olympia Halle erupts. It's not done yet though. It's a big
dyno.
It's another dyno. You called it right.
Looks like she's going to press it out.
It's supposed to be a dyno. Whether it will be is another matter. Yes! Anna Sturr celebrating mid-swing.
That was a great top.
Great piece of action there. That was fantastic from Anna Sturr. Be great to see the
Yeah, she has to be thrilled about that.
There's some issue here. Let's have a look if we can spot what the problem was. Ah,
Oh,
now she touched the wall behind her during the swing. Watch this. That's not the. That's nearly the angle. So the black tape. That actually isn't the black tape to denote the edge of this boulder. It's there's the black
there
tape.
is black tape.
There is black tape. Yeah, but the. So we see that. Well, she's clearly outside the confines of the boulder. The black tape denotes the edge.
That's so hard, especially on that move. I mean, when your feet are swinging back like that, just making sure they don't cross that boundary or hit the wall is nearly impossible to do.
I'm sure that's the point that Anna is making. That she got the only advantage she got from the use of the, in inverted commas, a legal area was, I suppose, it stopped the swing slightly, but it's hard to say it was an intentional use. Hard to say that there's much she could have done about it.
Yeah, it's a tough call to make.
Well, she's still sitting on the sage, Anna. That's a replay we're seeing, but from our commentary position, we can see she is still there.
Really curious to see what the call is going to be on this one.
If you were the athlete now, what would you be doing? If you were Anna sitting on the mat?
I would just be hoping that I wouldn't have to climb that boulder again.
So we can see her there, Anna Sturr, sitting out on the mat, waiting to hear the judge's decision. It's obviously, they're obviously...
Looks like she's going back up.
Okay, so, the judge's decision, if my memory serves me right, she set off with about 2 minutes to go. She didn't finish her attempt with 2 minutes to go, so it looks like the judges have said, okay, we'll go back to the time you started. You really hope this hasn't thrown her, because that was a great moment when she topped out. The crowd went mad. There's a smile as wide as the river Inn on the face of Anna Sturr. But she did clearly touch the wall outside the designated area of her boulder. Playing the crowd, so she should. Not often you climb in front of several thousand home fans.
I think as long as she can stick that first dyno, she'll be good. But the first dyno is not easy.
Okay, Anna Sturr, 30 seconds to repeat the dyno that she pulled off earlier. However, in topping the Anna Sturr really making the most of that home advantage. I think the roof will just about blow off if she sticks this. It does. Now then, Anna, got to get it without
She's got this.
touching the illegal area.
Oh, she's good.
Gets it this time. Calmness personified. Anna Sturr, she topped the boulder once, but she touched outside the legal limit of the boulder. The judges call it straight away. She sat on the mat for several minutes, having to think about it.
I don't think I've ever so badly wanted someone to send a problem than right then.
No, it was hard not to be biased there. The Innsbruck crowd were going absolutely mad. You could see there, she was so aware of where her feet and her back ended up. The first time she touched the wall outside the area that she's allowed to use. And the judges said, okay, you can go back to the time you had when you started your attempt and carry on. I could be wrong about the time, but I seem to remember she had 2 minutes left when she started, and she resumed with 2 minutes left.
See if Shauna can continue flashing.
So here's Shauna Coxey. Can't do much better than she's doing so far. 2 boulders, 2 flashes. There's Roland Rugen. So he needs to get on the board. No bonuses, no tops just yet.
Hopefully he can get bonus on this.
So it's been so long since we saw one of the men climbing. But we've got Roland Rugens out. He's on to men's 3. So just to confirm, Anna Stur's score, got 2 tops, 11 attempts, and all 3 bonuses. She just had a technical appeal with the judges, if you missed it, where in the process of topping the boulder, she touched the wall outside of the legally designated area that she is allowed to use. Called back down, and was allowed to try again. Here's Shauna Coxey.
I think this should be her 3rd attempt.
So, Anna Stur, once she stuck that move, both times, she topped the boulder both times. Albeit the first time with the use of an illegal part of the wall. Roland Rugen's struggling with these tiny crimps on men's 3. So you can we'll go back in a second. Here's Shauna. The Innsbruck crowd doing their best to support her. I don't think I'd be giving away the world's biggest secret if I said they'd prefer Anna Stur won. But they like to cheer on all the competitors. So Shauna, not that time. No, she's going with both hands at exactly the same time. Anna, there was a slight delay between the movement of the 2 hands. So she hasn't kept up her record of flashing. She's got a minute and 10 seconds left to top this boulder. Anna Stur, the only climber out so far on it, and she did top it.
She's got the stick.
Makes it work this time.
Looks like she's gonna dyno. Another top for Shauna.
Great work, Shauna. 3 for 3 so far, including 2 flashes. And there we see it. going to take some beating. A bit shorter than Anna, and you could see that there. The dyno looked an awfully long way, but she made it work. Roland, 5 seconds to go. Gonna need to be quick to get on. I think he just about got on. The judges haven't got on the mat. They're obviously happy he made it off just in time. Less than half a second, I think. And there's the bonus. No, not for Roland.
He should be scored for his first bonus, though, which is going to help him right now.
We didn't get to see a lot of men's 3, but I have a bit of sneaky beta for it when we do see a bit more. I will reveal all when we go back to it, as we see a close-up of Roland's hands. Look at that for concentration. So Samoa Narasaki is out on the mat. You can see in there the blue shorts, and on the far side of him, Janja Garnbret. 2 young climbers. Janja Garnbret, born in 1999. I suspect a lot of people watching this now feel very old. It's being made to wait here. Now they can start. So Samoa doesn't waste too much time, straight on. Now then, there is a sneaky toe hook on that volume for this move right, just to steady yourself. Samoa either hasn't spotted it or doesn't want it. And he tried with his right underneath where his left foot is.
Ow.
With his left foot is where the toe hook is. One that wants the holds clean. It is getting warmer and warmer in this arena. A slab, difficult for the men at this stage. The hall, if not full, extremely close to it. Not much spare capacity.
He looked really confident on that slab, though. He just got on and went for it. So
he
hopefully.
did. We have a quick look at Janja. So close to sticking that time. Janja Garnbret currently sitting 3rd. The best finish in a World Cup was 5th, and it was the only Boulder World Cup he's ever entered. Not a bad start. Here's Samoa, as you say, looking very confident up to there.
Oh.
But that did look a painful fall.
Stick for Janja.
Janja Garnbret.
Going for the Anna method.
Can she be the 3rd of 3 climbers to top this? No, she doesn't quite like that way of doing it. She just compose herself. Now this is a completely different way to how Shauna and Anna do it. Is it equally successful? No, it's not. Let's have another look at that. It's a good hold she's going for. She just didn't quite get enough on it. And we see Tamoa's fall there.
Real close to that volume.
He was lucky not to hit the volume. Yeah, I was just thinking that. He did saw the funny side of it. He might not if he'd clobbered the volume. So men's 3 so far stopping everyone in their tracks. Now Jana got that move sorted. Got the final move sorted.
Nice.
Got the top. Tomoa Narasaki tops men's 3.
First send of the day.
Great to hear some American climbing terminology again, the send. I'm quite a big fan of America. I love America, so great to have some sending going on in the commentary box. We like that. As we see it here, Tomoa. That hold he's going for, that huge hold, it's not that easy to hang on to, but you wouldn't know it.
Yeah, he just cruised that top section.
He did, he never looked in doubt once he got there, as we see a replay of Janja. There we go, left hand, right hand. So Janja Garnbret so far, 3 tops from 3, as does Shauna Coxey. Recap, there's John Chomp, Sean McCall, and Tomoa Narasaki's top not showing up on the results just yet. That'll change things. Shauna Coxey, we see it there, 3 tops. How often do we see her at the top of the ranking? Janja Garnbret currently in 2nd. So Sol Saar is on the mats. See you there, furthest from the camera, and Martin Stranek closest to the camera. Martin, no bonuses, no tops just yet. Now, so if you're just joining us, we're live from Innsbruck, one of the biggest and best World Cups on the circuit. And we're in the huge Olympia Halle, host of 2 Olympic Games. And alongside me is Sierra Blair Coyle, adding expert analysis and the odd Americanism thrown in there as well. So, if you are just joining us, you will have missed an interesting incident with Anna Sturr. She topped women's boulder 3 that you can see in the background that Sol Saar is currently attempting, but in the process of topping it, she touched a section of the wall that is outside of the legal limit of her boulder, but she was allowed to sit while the appeal was considered and try again. Her top didn't count, but we've just had news from the judges that her top, where she used the illegal part of the wall, counts as an attempt because it was her mistake. So one of the judges has confirmed that Anna Sturr's first top of the boulder, where she used the illegal part of the wall, that does count as an attempt, but obviously it doesn't count as a top. She did go on to top the boulder later on, but that is an attempt chalked up against her. And I think she also used a further 2, possibly 3 attempts after that, so it could still cost her, even though the judges let her resume climbing. The additional attempts she used up could come to count against her. We will see. But yes, word from the judges, that was an official attempt from Anna Sturr.
Hopefully Sol and Martin are going to have some luck on these problems.
Yeah, Martin needs to get on the board if he's hoping to get anywhere near repeating his podium from Meiringen. He's a burly, physical climber, Martin. Very technical too, but you fear that slabs might not be his strong point. looked at his fingers. I mean, as well as slabby, this is also pretty tough on the hands. So as a competition progresses like this, you'll see on the score that you could really do with getting on the board. Do you begin to take more risks, or do you just think, no, this is how I'm going to do the boulder and it's my best chance of doing it?
I think you just try and climb it like you know how, and for me personally, like I try and go the safe route, but especially when I'm getting close to the end of, you know, the time, I'm like, all right, whatever I can think of, I'm going to try it. Like maybe it'll work. I just want to get up the boulder.
Solsar unfortunately won't make it up the boulder, neither does Martin Stranick. You see him walking off there in the distance. So next out will be Dmitry Sharafutynov and Megan Mascarenhas.
Mascarenhas, I think.
Stick with Mascarenhas, that's how I've been saying it so far. There's Dmitry. Looking very focused. One bonus so far, no tops. Here's Dmitry, straight onto the slab, balancing his way rightwards. So we mentioned, there's a sneaky toe hook underneath where his feet are that just controls your momentum as you move rightwards to the bonus hold. He'll touch the bonus, he won't get it for that though, he needs to control it.
He was looking pretty solid though. I think he'll get bonus next attempt.
I've given up on predictions. I think you could be right though. There's Megan so far. Perfect start to this final. 2 boulders, 2 flashes.
Fun fact about Megan, she just graduated high school and I believe she was also valedictorian, which is just awesome, especially climbing at this level and then excelling in school.
For non-Americans, just explain what that means.
Oh, valedictorian, you have the best GPA, grade point average, best grades of your entire graduating class.
And GPA?
GPA is A is 4 points, B is 3 points, and then it goes down.
Grade point average, is that right?
Yep, grade point average.
There we go, good trivia. So, sorry, just explain again what Megan did.
So, Megan graduated high school and was valedictorian, so basically the smartest person in her graduating class.
Smartest person in the class, currently 3rd in a World Cup final. So some people would be easy to hate.
She definitely has a lot going for her.
She definitely has a lot going for her. Colorado Springs, she'll be competing in Vail, I'm sure.
Oh, she'll definitely be in Vail.
She won there last year.
She did.
She would love to repeat that, I'm sure. And now we understand we're going to see her for a whole season next year.
I think so, which I think is going to be awesome.
As we see her unsuccessful attempt there, she's still on the mat, there she is. So is Dmitry. So Tomoe Narasaki has topped this boulder. Those of you on Twitter, don't forget you can interact, hashtag IFSCWC. Let us know. Can anyone catch Jongwon Chom? 2 tops, 2 boulders so far. There's Megan trying again for that dyno. Given that Shauna Coxey and Yanya Garnbray have got 3 from 3, Megan could really do with this.
I think she might end up needing this top.
I suspect she might, yes. So Dmitry this time holds the bonus. You can see the difficulty of World Cup standard slab boulders. He just, as soon as his hips began to move away from the wall, you can't recover it. You start to peel off. And Megan, we're just watching a replay of Dimitri, but Megan has left the ground on her final attempt. There she is. Needs this. No. Not for Megan. Well, certainly not over. She's certainly still in with a very healthy chance of a podium. But she could really have done with that. There's 2 girls above her now with 3 tops. So out on the mats, Jongwon Chon, closest to the camera, Miho Nanaka of Japan. Last week's winner in Mumbai, as you can see at the bottom left of your screen, she's from Tokyo. Fantastic city. How did you enjoy Japan when you were over there?
Oh, Japan was great. It was so nice and just really easy, a good trip. I'd love to go back.
See Jongwon Chon here, making good progress.
Wow.
Straight onto the bonus. This looks very promising.
Oh, he's good. Just the top. Wow.
Jongwon Chon, 3 tops, 3 boulders. Okay, so Jongwon Chon is guaranteed a top 2 finish. Just trying to do the maths. He's got 3 tops. Sean McCall has 1. Moro Narasaki has 1, but Sean McCall still has 2 boulders to come. He can get 3 tops. So Jongwon Chon, he'll be in the top 2. We know that.
I think even if Sean flashes this one and 4, he'd still have more attempts. So I think Jongwon just won. My math could be wrong, so nobody quote me on that.
So let's have a look. If Sean McCall flashes this, he will have 2 tops in 4 attempts. So he'll be behind going into the final boulder. I think he could be right. Somebody on Twitter that isn't trying to commentate, let us know. Hashtag IFSCWC. We can't commentate, read our notes, watch the wall, and do the maths. So somebody who's not multitasking quite so much, let us know. Jongwon Chon, we know he's guaranteed top 2. Has he just won this competition? We'll concentrate on Miho Nanaka. For my maths, I think Sean can still catch him, but we've just talked about Megan's school abilities. Mine, certainly in maths, slightly lower. Chances of me being wrong, fairly high. Miho Nanaka setting herself up. This would be her 3rd top, put her in real contention. It would be 3 from 3. She won last week. Oh no.
All right, according to Twitter, John won. Thanks, Liam Lonsdale, for putting that one out there. Also want to point out everyone's talking about how great the setting is at the comp, and I wholeheartedly agree.
I absolutely agree. Fantastic so far, yes. So Jongwon has won.
I wonder if he knows he's won. It's a big question.
It's an interesting point. Yeah. When it comes to maths and predictions, ignore everything I say. See Miho Nanaka. 3 from 3.
Puts her in 3rd, I believe.
Yeah, thanks to Liam Lonsdale on Twitter. I should confess, Liam's a friend of mine. Thank you for shaming me publicly for my mathematical skills. We've all got our good points, that's not one of mine. But thanks, Liam. Cheers for helping us out. Liam actually from the same small town of Bolton in the north of England where I went to school. It's a small world, isn't it? Here he is helping me out in World Cup final maths. Cheers, Liam. There's Miho Nanaka. So Sean McColl comes out with a smile on his face, a wry smile. He might know that this is done. So Kia Noguchi in the background. She's to have any chance of progressing. She needs this. One top from two so far. Here goes Sean. AC/DC ringing out around the Olympia Halle. Sean very careful and specific brushing there. He knows exactly what he wants to do. Probably hear that through our microphones. AC/DC's song TNT ringing out, trying to egg Sean on. I will resist the temptation to sing along for the sake of everyone listening. Miho Nanaka in the background there. I'm sorry, Kia Noguchi, excuse me. Not quite making that dyno work just yet.
I'm looking at the scoreboard for men and it looks like 2 through 6 could really change up based on this problem and the next one especially.
Could, yes. Martin Stranick, thus far the only person with no tops or bonuses. Roland Rugens with one bonus.
At this point, if he flashes the next boulder and no one else does, that could put him in second.
A bit like Mumbai last week. Suddenly gets very tight, very complicated towards the end. And for those of you on Twitter, on the hashtag IFSCWC, you'll see a tweet sent just to me. You'll know what I mean when you see it, and a reply already on its way from my co-commentator back to Liam in the north of England. Here's Sean McColl. He's been firmly the Sean McColl of old this weekend. He's just come up against a force of nature in the shape of Jongwon Chon. With 5 seconds to go, 4 seconds, that will be his last attempt. No. So if there was any doubt before about the maths, there's none now. Jongwon Chon will win here in Innsbruck.
So tight, so close.
And the MC of the venue's just shouted out, so tight, so close. He's MCing in 2 languages, English and German. And he's not wrong, the men's competition, not tight at the top, Jungwon Chon. He's run away with this. He's followed by Sean McCall and Tomoa Narasaki, the only 2 men with tops apart from Jungwon so far. There we see it, a familiar sight, Shauna Coxey topping the women's competition. Yannick Gambray is in second with Miho Nanaka in third.
Aber vor allem brauchen wir jetzt für diesen 4. Boulder noch einmal die rot-weiß-rote Unterstützungskulisse. Für die einzige österreichische Starterin in diesem Weltcup-Finale. Anna Schnöder. Sind ihre Fans noch hier in der Weltcup-Halle? Hat sie geklappt, nach diesem Gewaltakt hier ist Anna Schnöder!
So that shout from the MC normally means the arrival of Anna Sturm. There she is. So she is out. This will be our first look at women's 4. If you're just tuning in, been out climbing, or maybe for a couple of drinks and you're just catching the end of this fantastic Innsbruck final. We have 7 women in the final. Shauna Coxey and Anna Shaw couldn't be separated in the semis or the qualifiers, so they both progressed in joint 6th through to this final. Now then, earlier on I was talking about the clock on this boulder, and probably made absolutely no sense. Makes plenty of sense to Anna Storr. She cruised through it. Drops off a couple of moves in the end. Anna Storr absolutely flew up that boulder. Yeah, I was saying when the climbers were doing their inspection, I was trying to describe the feature that looks a bit like a clock. It's 8, I think, holes in a circle. We see Anna's left foot on it there. I think it's 8 holes. There it is. Yep. It does look vaguely like a clock. Now, I'm told that the way to do it is to use the 11 o'clock hole, but Anna didn't do it that way. So, not for the first time this season, not for the first time tonight, the way that boulders are being done is surprising us. It has a sting in the tail, this boulder. There's a turn required at the top to change direction. Well, in fact, Anna's been going completely against what we thought the beta would be, but theoretically you have to turn, and it's a tricky move. The lower section didn't look too tricky. The expert skills of Anna Storr being used, but top section looking trickier. How many times have we seen that in Innsbruck from Anna Storr? She's currently in 4th place. Needs this. No. We seem to have lost our on-screen clock. I can tell you there's 1 minute 20 seconds remaining of Anna's attempt. We see the clock there, 1:10 now. Sierra, you've climbed in front of a home crowd. Does it make a difference?
I think it does. There's just something about everyone like knowing you. It feels more personal. I mean, the crowd is great wherever you go, but I know Anna's feeling the encouragement right now, and a lot of people are rooting for her.
Anna Storr is enjoying every second of this final, as well she might. Been climbing a long time, but climbing in an Olympic venue, a 15-minute bike ride from your home, it's not something that comes around every day. She's She's got 30 seconds left to enjoy the occasion. So she cruised up the lower section on her first attempt.
Let's hope she can do it again.
Moves on to the arete. Now there's the clock I was talking about.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Time not an issue. She's already off the ground, so she can carry on. She can't have another attempt. That will be it for Anna Sturr. No podium for her. But she looks like a woman who's enjoyed her evening. There is an after party in the hall afterwards, so I suspect she'll carry on enjoying her evening. Perhaps in the company of an excellent Austrian Weizbier, who knows? Well, the crowd would love to have seen Anna win. Wasn't to be. She just, I think, pointing out that her left hand just couldn't quite hold it. But she's enjoyed herself. So out comes Shauna Cox. She's currently in the lead. 3 tops, 7 attempts. Now, if she flashes this, she cannot be caught.
I know I say this about every problem Shauna gets on, but I definitely think she's capable of the flash here.
The way she's climbed this season, anything is possible.
Looking strong so far.
Looking very strong. If Shauna flashes this, she cannot be caught. She'll make it 4 from 5 on a run of 5 from 6, including Munich last year, and looks unbelievably solid. As I say, there's a sting in the tail in this boulder.
Come on, Shauna.
Not for Shauna Coxey.
Way to go, Shauna.
Shauna, 4 from 4. Boulders, 4 from 5 World Cups this year. She wins here. Yanya Gambray cannot catch her now. She can still top this, secure second, but she can't win. That woman's going to win today. Well, there we see it again. That clock is not live, that's a replay, but with the live clock. Sorry, so the clock is live, the replay is not. There's Shauna. That never really looked in doubt from the second she left the ground. Seems absolutely impervious to pressure, Shauna Coxey. Chatting with Anna there. Here's Roland. Not at a top so far, only 3 men have. But he has now. Now then, the key will be the number of attempts. We were watching Shauna. We wait for the scoreboard to update. He's up into 3rd. That's how quickly it can change. Barely had the words left my mouth that he hasn't had a top yet, and this happened. Yes, today's winner, Shauna Coxey. So here's Tomoe Narasaki, Yanya Gambray as well. Now if Yanya flashes this, I think she's got 3 attempts, certainly if she flashes it, but also if she does it on her 3rd attempt, I think she'll secure 2nd.
I think so too.
Well, let's concentrate on her 1st attempt, because if she gets that, there's no more maths to do, she will be 2nd. Here's Yanya. So, watch her, could be about to secure 2nd. If Tomoe reaches the top, he will be in temporary 2nd. For now, we follow Yanya Gambray.
For anyone watching, the way Shauna and Anna did that move is they got their left foot up onto the clock, and so I think that Yanya's going to need that as well.
See Tomoe here. Can he get his 3rd podium in 3 events? So just to recap, the winners are already decided. Shauna Coxey and Jungwon Chon will be our winners today. Still a lot to play for though.
Hopefully Yanya gets that foot up. She doesn't need it.
So here we go.
Looks like Tomoe is getting further too. Another send on men's 4. That's temporarily going to put him in 2nd.
So it's up. Tomoe looks happy. There's Yanya.
In 2nd, officially.
We wait for the number of attempts. Come on, scoreboard. There we go. She can't be caught. So, 1st and 2nd are determined in the women's event. Shauna Coxey, followed by Yanya Gambray. We're just waiting for the men's scoreboard to update here in the venue. So Martin Stradic and Sol Saar back out onto the mats. Sol Saar currently sitting in 7th. No tops so far. She looked very strong in the qualifiers and the semis. Looking strong on this boulder so far.
Looks like she could be getting the flash on this.
No chance of a podium, but a top would be nice. None so far in the final. Is that all about to change for Salsa? We will wait and see. Just needs to sort her feet out. Begins to rotate, but holds it. No, tantalizingly close from Salsa.
So close.
Martin Stranik, also without a top this evening, but Roland Rugens was in the same position and pulled one out of the bag. Martin desperately hoping that he can do the same. Crowd beginning to clap along. And the local MC was singing along then. That's enough of that, thank you very much. And Martin is not got on with these bowlers tonight. No tops, no bonuses, still 6th place. Second best finish this year. And no repeat of Meiringen, when he was 2nd. But also, fortunately, no repeat of Kazo when he missed the isolation cut-off. Salsa trying again, women's 4. Working that hand up the arete. The right foot follows. No, it didn't. She didn't actually place her foot on the hold there. She just smeared and it gave away. Got plenty of time for another go. Seems in a rush though. We might want 2 goes. No point saving energy now. When this 50 seconds is up, all that Solskjaer has to do is drink a beer with everybody else at the after party. So she should use up all her energy here.
We all believe that you want to be up here. Innsbruck, 14 Versuche von Salsa. Da wollen wir jetzt eine Minute sagen.
So we see Martin in the background. No. Salsa's just using up her time. Looks like she only wants one more attempt unless she slips in the very first move. This will be her last attempt.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Time's up for Salsa. Where's the crowd? She's enjoyed herself. No tops, but 3 bonuses. And the crowd appreciate it. You can see the whole crowd, or certainly the standing section, all moved over to the right to see the last of the action. The left-hand side looking a bit sparser. Right-hand side very dense. As ever, large and extremely enthusiastic and knowledgeable crowd here in Innsbruck. We'll quickly recap the results. Shauna Coxey guaranteed to win. Yannick Gambray will be 2nd. Miho Nanaka currently in 3rd. She could be caught though by Megan Mascarenas. Here she is.
I think Megan can do it.
Megan can claim a temporary 3rd place if she tops this boulder in 8 attempts or less.
And then Miho doesn't send it.
Yes.
I feel like my math skills are already improving from trying to calculate these scores back here.
So, Megan here, she can move up from temporary 4 to temporary 3rd. Look at the scores. I think Megan is already guaranteed 4th. How she would love to turn that into 3rd though. Place on the podium would not go amiss. 2 podiums, 2 World Cups. That wouldn't be a bad start to 2016. Still got her home World Cup veil to come, which she won last year. Looking very controlled here, just needs to figure out what to do with those feet. It looked a tricky way of doing that move, but she made it work.
She can definitely flash this. Come on, Megan. Oh, come on, come on. My hands are sweating back here.
Fantastic for Sierra Blair Coyle there. How she held that, I will never know. It looked like she was in the process of falling off for about 5 seconds and somehow ended up still on the boulder. Very precise.
Oh, no!
Our commentary table just shook as it got a bang from both fists of Sierra Blair Coyle there.
Sorry, everyone. I just want Megan to do really well.
It's okay. The monitor stayed on the table. We're okay. You'd have had a very angry director to answer to if you'd killed our monitor, but it survived.
I didn't ruin it just yet.
You see, she's going for that ball, so she just missed it, maybe.
She's just a little too far right, I think. A little more left would have been fine.
It must have taken a lot out of her. There's a potential podium at stake here, though. Sure, that will be enough to spur her on for at least one more attempt. Megan just getting rid of that pump. Dimitri, it looks like a small injury to Dimitri Sharafutinov. We haven't seen a lot of men's boulder 4. We are getting our pictures today from Austrian TV. So I'm afraid I don't have any say in the shots that are chosen. Fortunately, they've been doing a fantastic job so far. But it would be good to see a bit of men's 4. In the meantime, though, Megan Mascarenhas and Dimitri Sharafutinov both off the mat. Time's up, but they'll carry on. Here's Megan. No, not this time.
What a first attempt, though. That was great.
That was fantastic. As I say, I've never seen someone fall off a boulder problem and then still be on it. She seemed to just slip off.
I would love to see the replay of that again. That was nuts.
That would be great. We will try and track that down. If we don't see it now, we'll try and track that down for our highlights because, as I say, looked to be off. Somehow just held it together. Great bit of action. So Miho Nanaka is out on the right. There she is. On the left, Jongwon Chon. He's already won here.
So I think Megan will definitely be in 4th.
Yes, she can't be caught in 4th.
And then Mio's in 3rd, definitely.
So after much maths and much changing of the order, we do now have a final result in the women's competition. The only thing that can change is Aki Noguchi can move from 6th to 5th. Other than that, it's fixed. Miho Nanaka, who we see climbing here, will finish 3rd. She was first last time. So she doesn't need anything here. She'll be 3rd regardless. Very ambitious climber Miho Nanaka. Makes no secret that she wants to win the overall title one day. She's not going to win this World Cup, but she won the last one. She is a serious contender, no doubt about that. Jongwon Chon in the background, he's already won the overall World Cup. He won it last year. Hasn't won it this year, but he has won this competition. First place for him. I'm not sure if you can hear it through my microphone, but had an extremely eclectic music, as we see Jongwon Chon. Extremely eclectic music from the DJ tonight. Dread to think what he's going to play at the after party. It's a bit more action before we can think about that. Miho Nanaka here, she's already got third. She'd like to top this though, that would be a clean sweep of 4 tops.
She's going for the 11 o'clock.
She is, there's 11 o'clock.
Bet the setters are happy about that.
Yeah, I bet they are after I said that it was the only way to do it.
I think this just shows how tough the problem is though. I mean, she's doing it the intended way and still it's not easy to do.
Makes you realise, Shauna Coxey, just how impressive that was. She never looked really like she was struggling from leaving the ground to topping the boulder.
Yeah, that was one of the most simple sends I've ever seen.
On what is proving to be an extremely hard boulder. Megan and Anna, no joy on it. Kia Noguchi still to come. Miho Nanaka not getting on with it. So, Jongwon Chon. This boulder has been topped. Roland Rugens, Tamura Narasaki both topped it. As I say, we haven't seen a huge amount of it on screen. It's a double dyno finish. The only person saw doing it so far, as I say, Roland Rugens and Tamura Narasaki. We only caught a glimpse of him, but we did see Roland Rugens finishing it off. Here's Jongwon Chon. He's already won. He's doing this for the fun of it. Doing this because he can, because the crowd will love it. And if you get the opportunity to get several thousand climbing mad Innsbruck locals on their feet, you take it.
2, 1.
Here's Miho, out onto the arete. This is our last attempt. Jongwon Chon is back on the mat. I can tell you he's walking off the mat. He's not topped it, he won't get 4 from 4. Every boulder's been topped today. Not by Jongwon Chon. Here's Miho Nanaka, she's guaranteed third. She's still giving this boulder absolutely everything.
She's looking solid.
Just needs to set herself. This would make it a clean sweep of 4 tops and 4 boulders. Miho Nanaka.
Awesome send.
She tops all 4. So the last climber out will be Kia Noguchi, Sean McCall. So Sean can claim second here.
I think he has 6 attempts.
He has
to claim
6
second.
attempts. 6 attempts to claim second. He has to top it though. If he doesn't top it, he'll stay third.
And Akio should have 8 for 5th.
Yes, we will just wait for the scoreboard to come back up. Yes, Akio, she has 8 attempts. If she can top this boulder in 8 attempts or less, she'll move from 6th to 5th. Swapping places with Anna Schuss. So, Sean McCall is currently in third. He's guaranteed third. Can he make it second? From a man that hasn't made a final in this season until tonight, he will be absolutely delighted either way to go from no finals to a podium. But how he would love to be second. You have to say, most people that watched him in the semis would say they expected him to be first, but he's come up against the unstoppable Jungwon Chon. Here's Akio. She can turn 6th into 5th if she tops this boulder in 8 attempts or less. There's 11 o'clock. The hold that clearly isn't compulsory because it wasn't used on several tops, but it is felt to be the easiest way of doing it. No, just slipping. Couldn't get that right foot set. I can tell you the camera's not on him, but Sean McCall just setting himself for an attempt. There he is. Another attempt used up from Sean. We haven't had the camera on him. We can't tell you exactly how many attempts he's used just yet. Remember, he's got 6 or less to take 2nd away from Tomoe Narasaki. Both climbers on the mat. 2 minutes left of this final. Crowd getting behind them. They know they've been treated to a fantastic event tonight. They appreciate it. As we see Akio desperately trying to turn 6th place into 5th. That would make her results 4th, 20th, 3rd, 2nd and 5th this year. Perhaps not where she's been in the past, but not too bad and extremely consistent. You take Kazo out of it, it's been an excellent season from her. Here's Sean McCall. We don't have a live count of his attempts, but I suspect he hasn't had 6, sorry. So he can't be too far off. There goes Sean, he's desperately trying to turn a bronze medal into a silver. I think he may not have time. He's just out of shot now, but he's chalking up. He's asked for the boulder to be cleaned. Cool as you like with 15 seconds left. And if you're hearing a cheer from the crowd, it's because Sean just asked them for one, and they respond. There's Akio.
Oh, Sean's off.
Do it. Sean is off. Sean will be 3rd.
See if she can change it. Move up a spot. Good last attempt by Akio.
Great last attempt from Akio. Well, there we have it. Innsbruck always delivers a huge event. No different this year. Some huge surprises in the qualifiers. We were shorn of some of the biggest names, and it gave other climbers a chance. But this final has been breathless, watched by a huge crowd, and we just confirmed the result for you. Jungwon Chon there. Looked in control from the start. He takes the win ahead of Tomoe Narasaki. Sean McCall. Roland Rugens with his top of boulder 4 moves up to 4th place. Dimitri Sharafutanov in 5th. Martin Stranik 6th. And in the women's competition, a familiar story. Shauna Coxey, she topped all 4 boulders today. She required 8 attempts to do so. Janja Garnbret also topped them, but she required 10 attempts and so takes second. Miho Nanaka also topped all 4 and required 13 attempts to take third. As we see the Innsbruck crowd staying to watch the podium ceremony. So, Sierra, thank you for your company.
Thank you for having me.
So many talking points tonight. One interesting place to start, Anna Sturr. She had a problem on women's 3. She touched an area outside the legal limit of the boulder. Talk us through her composure. Where does that composure come from? She sat on the mat, totally relaxed, went again, did it.
I think Anna's just a seasoned competitor, and when calls like that happen, you know, you always want to win them and you don't want to be in that position, but the reality is you just have to get back on the boulder and do it again, and she knows that, and she's done it once, so she knows she can do it again.
And fantastic home support for her. We talked about that. You think that must have made a big difference?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's nothing like having encouraging people around you, and especially when it's home, you just feel that extra connection.
And another big talking point in the women's event, Janja Garnbret, we can just see the scoreboard across from us, 2nd place. She's entered 2 Boulder World Cups now, 5th, now 2nd. Did extremely well in the lead World Cups last year. She could be a major force for the next 10 years.
Oh, absolutely. When I was in Slovenia, I got to climb with Janja, I think, on one day, and I was really impressed. You know, I hadn't seen her climb until then, and she definitely lived up to my expectations.
And Megan Mascarenas, who we just looked at, she finished 4th. She's going to do the full circuit next year. How far do you think she can go?
Megan can be the best, in my opinion. I mean, she's so good, and I only see her continue to get better.
I mean, we've just discussed all these climbers. Do you really think that Megan can be the best of all?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I know how hard she works, and she just is a good and a smart climber, you know. She knows what she's doing.
So if you're just joining us for the podium ceremony, Shauna Coxey has won here today. She'll be followed by Janja Garnbret in 2nd and Miho Nanaka in 3rd. In the men's event, it was Jongwon Chom. Never really looked like being caught, to be honest. First 2 boulders down. He topped them both. Tomoe Narasaki took 2nd. 2 tops was enough to secure 2nd, and Sean McCall in 3rd place with 1 top. The men's event this year, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I think it was a great competition for John Wan. I mean, he killed it. Clearly, nobody was close to him this time.
I wanted to ask you about that, actually, because he started slowly last year, fairly unremarkable first half of the season, and then just tore it up the second half. Are we seeing the same thing again?
Yeah, I mean, we could be, and competitions are hard, it's unpredictable, and sometimes that just happens, but clearly he's really good and deserves to be on top right now.
He is a bit like last year. Slow start, beginning to really exert his authority on this men's competition. We've just got Anna Sturr live on stage being interviewed. You may be able to see her there. And there's us on the left of your screen, the big lights with the big blue and white IFSC banner behind us. Can you see us? Maybe see me waving. We've had a fantastic view on a fantastic final. Won in the women's event by Shauna. Do you think Shauna can be caught this year, or is she just pulling away too far?
I mean, anything can happen, but Shauna's clearly the dominant climber this year, in my opinion. But that being said, you never know. I think it's cool to see all the support Shauna's getting, though, as she's crushing it this season. Just when I was looking on Twitter, I can't tell you how many Shauna tweets I saw. Everyone's really excited to see her win today.
Well, with 4 wins for 5 World Cups so far, she's on track, if she can keep this up, for possibly the most dominant season we've ever seen in women's bouldering. It's a big if, but so far she has been almost untouchable. Mumbai last week, 9th place, her only real slip-up, if you can call the top half of the semi-finals a slip-up.
When 9th place is your worst placement of the season, you're doing pretty well.
I think you're absolutely right. It just gives you an idea of the standard she's setting, that 9th place seems like a slip-up.
The medal awarding ceremony, IFSC World Cup in Innsbruck. Please welcome our guest of honor, die Ehrengäste, der Präsident des Kletterverbandes des Österreichischen, Dr. Arjen Botscher.
We're just welcoming the awarding party onto the stage for the podium ceremony.
Und die IFSC-Vizepräsidenten Helmut Knabel und Pierre Henri.
Just while the various dignitaries are being introduced, the men's competition, who I believe we're going to have the men's podium first. Men's competition, who actually wants to win it this year? It seems like there's so little consistency.
I know, that's what's been so crazy about the men, is they've just been back and forth so much. And I mean, look at John Wan. I mean, in the first competition, he didn't make it out of qualifiers. Nothing to be ashamed of. It's a hard crowd, but he just won. I mean, no one has really consistently been in the top 6, I would say. So it's kind of anyone's game at this point.
It's absolutely wide open. Only 2 events left, remember. We are 5 events down. We go to Vale and we go to Munich. But yeah, nobody really putting their hand up this year. Alexei Rubtsov won in Meiringen, followed by Rustam Gelmanov in Kazo, that man right there. Tomoa Narasaki, he won in Chongqing, followed her up with the second last week. I'll resume in just a second. Last week it was... There's Sean McCall, I was about to say, of Skakora Fuji, who won in Mumbai. There's Sean McCall, very happy.
Looking excited about this one.
Yes, not made a final until today. Cruised into the final in his sleep. And I think a lot of people fancied him for the win, but he takes the bronze medal.
I think this is his 6th weekend in a row competing, too.
It is, yeah. We had a Speed World Cup in Nanjing, in between Chongqing and Mumbai. I'm getting very good at saying these Chinese names. Yeah, there was a Speed World Cup in Nanjing. Sean took part in that. He also took part in the Masters Boulder event, the non-World Cup event there. So he won't have been home since before Meiringen, which, when you think how long ago that was, is a pretty punishing schedule, but he's coped with it well and he's saved his best till last. He will finally get a break after this. Tomoa Narasaki, 3rd podium in a row.
Also looking excited to be up there.
Has to be considered a real contender this season.
Is he 3rd in the world rankings before this?
That is a good question. We don't have the updated rankings, but
This should help him, I would imagine.
will certainly help him. Yeah, 3 podiums in a row. Be interesting when the rankings are updated. Make sure you check the IFSC website for all the up-to-date rankings, because it is extremely tight in the men's event. Nobody really standing out as a dominant force. From 1 week to the next, it's a different climber.
It could end up being Tomoa.
It could end up being Tomoa. I was about to say that the only person showing real consistency recently is Tomoa Narasaki. Certainly in the last 2 comps. That man there, Jongwon Chon, has looked pretty tough to beat. Nobody could do it today. 3 tops. Tomoa got 2, Sean got 1, nobody else got anywhere near him. He won the overall Boulder World Cup last year, and in a year where nobody is dominating, he can certainly win it again this year. There he is, looks absolutely delighted.
Definitely an exciting moment.
One of my favourite moments from him was celebrating before he had both hands on the top hold. Always a risky business. He played up to the crowd, they loved it, and they're loving this.
He's always so enthusiastic whenever he does any boulder, which is really cool.
It's great to see. We'll hear the national anthem of South Korea now. Well, John will invite Sean McCall and Tomoe Narasaki onto the top of the podium. Podium's actually on the crash mats. It doesn't look immensely stable, luckily. They're keeping their balance. Doesn't look out the question it could fall over on the mat. They make it work. See there, the crowd staying behind to watch this. Half an hour from now, that will be a dance floor. And probably equally full as it is now. Here come the women for the podium. They should be out, they've been called.
There they are.
There they are. Somebody obviously said, get out on stage. See Miho Nanaka. Third place, won last week. Janja Garnbret. Not a bad Boulder World Cup career so far. Second and fifth. Shauna Coxey. An absolutely fantastic year. 2016, 4 wins from 5 World Cups and with 2 still to come. There's Miho Nanaka. Receiving a trophy. As we've mentioned, she's very ambitious. She wants to win every competition. But you've got to be pretty happy with a podium place in Innsbruck. She certainly is happy with it.
And this girl earns the silver medal. The shooting star from Slovenia. Second appearance at the World Cup. Second time a final, and now the third.
Here's Janja Garnbret.
In her career.
Second Boulder World Cup in her career, and she takes second place. How's that for a start? Something tells me that if you watch the IFSC, you are going to be seeing Janja Garnbret's face for a lot of podium ceremonies. And not just in one discipline either.
She climbs right to the final. But it was very close, the decision in the semi. But now, with the fourth win in this season, out of 5 World Cups, the winner and the gold medalist of Innsbruck 2016, Miss Shauna Coxey.
Here's the woman that nobody could live with in 2016, Shauna Coxey. It's one of her favourite places to come, Innsbruck. But the form she's in this year, doesn't matter where she competes or who against, she wins. Shauna Coxey raises the bouquet of flowers high above her head. There's the Union Jack. Didn't quite get to see who that was. No doubt who they were cheering for though. So we will hear the British national anthem, God Save the Queen. There we have Shauna Coxey. She'll have a few weeks off now, as will everyone else competing, as will our media team. Just want to say a big thanks to them. Our media guys, our live streaming guys, they haven't been home since before Meiringen. Think how long ago that feels. And they have got just as much energy and enthusiasm as they did then. They've been all over Asia, all over Europe, and they finally get to go home. So big thanks from me for all their work. They do a great job and we appreciate it. Well, Sierra Blake Oil, thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks for having me. It was a really fun time.
So there we go, 5 Boulder World Cups down, 2 to go. Next we travel to Vail for round 6 in Colorado. That will be on the 10th and 11th of June. In the meantime, Innsbruck has delivered. It always does. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in Vail.
Fürs Live-Kommentieren und wir sehen einander jetzt hoffentlich bei der Red Bull Champions Party.